morning. Oh, can I wave with this hand? There we are. And welcome back. So today we're talking about a terribly wretched topic. How can one possibly enjoy tea? Well, I'm going to give you two tips. So, first of all, why would you even want to enjoy tea? Supposedly, there's like these relaxing benefits to it or some such. At the very least, you're taking in an extra cup of water, and you can't argue with that. However, if you're like me, tea tastes disgusting. It's like grass. So I have a variety of herbal teas that I have come across, and I've actually started to enjoy them. And here are the little bits that I've learned. First of all, you do have to get accustomed to it a small amount. Just ignore that if that completely throws you off, because I'm going to get to a better part here. But there is a little bit of getting used to the subtle taste of subtle tasting water, and there is a little bit to kind of having the mindset of the reason that you're drinking the tea isn't because like, oh, this is the best Kool-Aid ever, but more because you're trying to do probably something else like meditation or exercise or something where the guru that you're listening to is like, and tea. Uh, so you got to give it a chance. And I guess the first thing that I was going to say is actually well, I don't know if first or second. We're going to go with this one. The heat matters. So I have been microwaving my water. Well, the water matters too. Make sure you're using water. If the base water tastes like sewage water and chlorine, then the tea might not taste much better. So you gotta have some okay water to start with. I guess that's first. And then second is you gotta experiment with different heats because I don't like to put things in my mouth that burn my mouth and make me unable to taste. Right? But on the other hand, you need to get the water hot enough to let out the flavors you want to let out. So I've been experimenting and I found that some teas for me taste better when I'm microwaving them about a minute and 15 seconds, and some taste better when I'm microwaving them closer to 2 minutes. And that depends on the third thing, which is the flavor of the tea. So it may be good. For me, for example, I found that I did not like all these relaxing, sleepy time chamomile teas. They tasted like grass. They just weren't doing it for me. But I went back and tried some just plain Jane chamomile. And they also say you want to get a good quality of tea. So if you go to someplace like Good Earth or Trader Joe's or something like that, you might end up with something a little bit better than the cheapest box that's on the Walmart shelf. But again, you need a variety pack because you have to experiment, because you have to find flavors that work for you. So anyway, I found that when I just tried plain Jane chamomile, I actually did kind of like that flavor, and what I was experiencing with some of the other relaxing essences like licorice or something were combining in a way that just made it taste worse, but also that it did have an effect whether I had the tea hotter or less hot. And I think that this is more important than how long you let it seep for, is the heat, because you can let very warm tea seep for a long time and it's not the same experience as if you let hot tea seep for a short time. And so basically, when it gets to the point where you pull the mug out and it's hot on your fingers and it kind of burns your fingers a little bit, you've probably reached maximum heat. And that seems to be around 2 minutes, maybe 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Whereas if you get it down to the heat where it's ready to drink without burning your mouth off within a couple of seconds, um, I mean, not within a couple of seconds, but within a minute or two, it's cooled off enough that a normal non-tea drinker could drink it, then you are not necessarily activating all of the flavors in the tea packet to their fullest, which could be a good thing or a bad thing. So kind of those three things. You want to make sure that you're not taking in sewage water. You've got some filtered water or bottled water that isn't bottled sewage water, because most bottled water is bottled sewage water. It'll say right on the bottle. You also want to find the temperature that works for you, probably somewhere between a minute and 2 minutes if you're putting it in a ceramic mug, which is, I imagine, what you would want to do. That kind of holds the heat a little bit better, helps with the seeping. And then number 3 is you're just going to have to down some bad teas that make you feel like, ugh, what is this all about? As you rotate through a couple of different flavors and you find your tea. All right? So, with all of that, thanks for watching. If you thought this was either hilarious or useful, go ahead and give it a like. If you are interested in following along, there are descriptions that you can subscribe. Follow me on Facebook. And also, I am doing a how to code bootcamp called Beyond Code Bootcamp, and there are links for that in the description below as well, if that's something that you think you might be interested in making a career change on. With all that, you have the best morning ever, and how could you not?